All right, you guys. Oh my gosh. Nikki B here.
Just Joseph.
Futureland 365 right here on WOBU 95.9.
We just had another amazing session today with the one and only Cleveland legend, business and music mogul, Big Heff. And it was unbelievable. You did not want to miss out the free game he is giving.
I still got goosebumps and chills from the big announcement, right?
Oh, yeah. And we
You
got
gotta tune in. You have to tune in. Am I more excited than you are?
Nah, you not.
Okay,
Yeah, you
okay,
are. I don't
okay,
know.
baby, I don't know.
All right. Once again, another amazing show. Make sure y'all tune in.
Peace. Awesome and amazing day, you all. Welcome to Futureland 365. It's your girl, Nikki B.
And it's your boy, Just Joseph.
Yes, we are back in the building. We're back on the airwaves, you all. I am so excited, right? We
Yeah.
say this all the time, but because we always have amazing, interesting, innovative, creative entrepreneurs from
Facts.
Cleveland, and we
Yeah.
love to highlight those individuals. So again, I'm always so excited, and just Joseph is too, right? I don't have to speak
Man.
for him.
Especially with the guest we got today. This is
Oh,
somebody
my
I know
goodness.
personally, a true legend. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and
Oh my
list
goodness!
some
So
of these accolades.
drum roll, please. Let me get that scroll out because this young man here, right? So he's probably gonna be like, "Dang, young lady, why you saying all my names like that?" Right? So you all, I want you all to meet Quincy, Big Heff Taylor, right? Music executive, talent connector, and Midwest mogul. Right? I'm just getting started. I am just getting started. So he is the CEO and co-founder of Capital Structure Entertainment and Beyond Stars Entertainment. Right? He is also the former regional rep for Def Jam, Epic
Facts.
Epic Records, and E1 Music. And oh my gosh, you all, there's so many accolades and things here. He's a co-creator of the Ohio Hip Hop Awards
major.
and Music Conference. If you all don't know, I've never been, but all of my good friends have been there, been in the building. Last year I had a conflict. I couldn't go. I was like, dang of it, right? Also, he is the executive producer of film and TV projects like The Cap and the platform docuseries, and creator of Q Time, a school program that teaches music industry career paths to high school students. Oh my gosh. And this is the last thing I'm going to say, you all, because I'm
Those
running out of
artists.
breath here, right?
Those artists, we got enough
Okay,
leaders.
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
He helps develop, promote artists like DJ Khaled, Jim Jones, Slim Thug, Obi Trice, Ty Bree, y'all know Ty Bree, and DJ Ryan Wolf. Wow.
Legends.
Okay, I'm going to stop there because
Yeah.
there's so much, right?
Yeah.
So before we got started, we were just talking about, we were checking our levels and our sounds, you all right? So this young man said, you know what, 'cause I don't really like talking loud. Well, you don't have to talk loud because your accolades and your
speak
hard
for
work and
itself.
dedication and the things that you produce and the people that you produce speak for you, right?
Yeah.
So welcome to Futureland
Welcome,
365,
man.
my guy.
My guy. In the
Futureland
building.
365, I like that.
Yeah,
man.
365, having the conversation about creatives,
Yeah.
music, tech, innovators, and entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
and making those connections so that our audience, right, have a tool and a blueprint to make their dreams reality.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
That aligns with what I like to do anyway. So,
for sure.
yeah. I just recently started getting into tech, so shout out to Jumpstart. I was a part of one of their software accelerator programs.
Nice.
And with a company I'm a part of called the Varsity AI. So I'm learning.
Yeah.
Say
in that
say that
space.
again. The what?
I'm learning.
No,
It's-
Varsity
it's
AI?
The Varsity AI
Yeah.
is the
So
name
tell
of the
us about
company.
that.
It's an education tech that teaches. It's a career workforce app that does mentor matching with career pathways. So, in Ohio, we're big into the automotive industry. So we can do twin kind of simulations for people that might be interested, but we do it through gamification. So people
love
kids
that.
like to play video
Yes.
games. So
Yeah.
it's a new way for them to learn about the automotive industry.
Yeah, you talk a
Right.
lot about, education. I've seen that you have kind of transitioned in a sense into doing more educational platforming, throughout your career. You've done so much in the music industry,
Yeah.
right? But just, and still obviously very strong in that. But talk about this desire that you have for education in the youth now.
I think it was like, when I first got in, there was no like no person, no point person to answer the questions that I had, like to get into the music industry, to be a part of it, or even just to see it. Like I believe if you could see it, you could be it. So when the first time when I thought I was going to be done with the music industry,
The first time.
I was just like, all right, maybe I could go in the path. I wanted to be a teacher when I was younger, so I was like, okay.
Makes sense.
But when I got established, I always wanted to give back. So like we established like Toys in the Hood, where I would go to schools and places all throughout Ohio and just give away, a couple $1,000s worth of toys to the,
Nice.
to kids. And then it was just about, kind of like self-awareness. I believe like the youth, they see the fancy things, the cars and the clothes and the chains and all that kind of stuff. But you can literally not go down the wrong path and still have the same material things.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
so, but now I'm just like full programming, just, once you get into the system, you kind of learn and see what's going on. And then I felt like there was a disconnect the way they were teaching the kids and if the kids were going to pay attention. So,
Yeah. No, I see it firsthand. So you mentioned something. You said, the first time I felt like, walking away from the music industry, right?
Yeah.
So I'm, on this show, we like to dive into the, the more deeper conversations. So I kind of want to know, like, how did you even get into the music? Like, we see a lot of the accolades and stuff. Did you always know that was the path for you, or you wanted to be that? Or did you kind of like, what was your path into this music mogul?
Definitely since I was 13, I said I was going to be a part of the music industry. I didn't know how. Like my first kind of brush with it was, of course, everybody wanted to be an artist, but I started interning for Bone Thugs and Harmony, so that's why it's like a full circle moment or whatever. And then interned with them. I kind of knew what to do, or when I get in my run, I would know what to do, what not to do, and how I could help the Cleveland community. Then I started working with Shady Records, which is Eminem, 50 Cent, D12, OB Trice. That was kind of like my first big break. I was doing tour management, so I got a chance to see the whole country. I tried to go to Canada. They said, "Nah, buddy, you can't come over here." But just seeing, like, once I got a chance to see the world and then see what works and what doesn't work, it gave me a chance to come back to Cleveland. I think I was at the Source Awards down in Miami. They had flew me out for that, and then I was like, I'm gonna bring that home. Like, 'cause I seen a lot of Cleveland guys down there, and I was like, we need something like that, like a platform to represent our culture, our community, producers, models, like our just whole community entirely. And I feel like it gives everybody a year in, year out goal of what the workforce, so for their acknowledgement.
To be able to see that.
And so once I got acclimated, and then, I went from working at E1, then I did like a brief stint at Epic Records. Then I moved to Def Jam. And when I got to Def Jam, it was really like I started my own touring company. I started, they kind of just told me, my guy EP, Eric Parler, he kind of just told me like, hey, if you come over here with us, we'll make you better. And of course your ego's like, how you gonna make me better, bro? I'm great right now.
Right.
But it was like working with the Yankees or like the Lakers or something like that, where everybody's like an all-star artist.
Wow.
Like that wave was like, the veteran artists was the Jay-Z's and the Kanye West, but then you had artists like Rihanna and Big Sean and 2 Chainz and Jeezy. So it was kind of like, all right, now I got to step my game up to
Big
make sure.
leagues.
I got to step it up. So going from there, I started working at 300, which, is another step up where I learned like a kind of like a different department as far as artist development. And then I went into the marketing and promotions, because I was like, how do I make artists bigger? Like, how do I give them bigger platforms or grow their audience? So, I got another good break with T Grizzly. I got another big break with Megan Thee Stallion and Young Thug and Gunna. And from there, I think it started me into the female movement.
Yeah.
I was kind of ahead of my time on that. So
Yeah.
I had Cardi, had Megan, I had Dream Doll, and Ruby Rose. I did some promotions and stuff for her. And then next thing you know, I was in the mix of all the female artists and
Yeah.
what's going on today.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's dope, and you talk a lot about creating platforms, and that's what we big about on Futureland for the innovation, right? So you had these big breaks where you worked with these companies, but you saw an opportunity in the market, and so talk about capital structure and how that came about.
So, you know, you get a couple success stories in music, the word travels pretty fast. So shout out to my guy, Brooklyn Johnny. I started Capital Structure. I just wanted to create a platform that was within home.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was like, I wanted to be, I don't want to date myself. I wanted to be like a lyricist lounge, like an underground boutique label for the underground hip hop. But
That's
things
fire,
were
though.
moving so fast
Yeah.
that, you know, I signed Ryan Wolf. Like I was like, okay, he could be like my DJ Khaled. And then I signed Ty Bree, which is another female artist from Cleveland. And she became the first female artist to sign. I did a joint venture with RCA. And that was, you know, we made some history, and you know, I'm just still working.
Yeah, still working. So what drives you today? So having all this success, you know, but I still see you hungry and still working and still giving back. You know, it seems like there's something else driving Big Heff beyond just the accolades that we see.
I think it's the street naming, and then just changing, kind of like, I felt like, you know, before, like, the craziest thing in the world is that when I first started, Bone, and then we had a crazy drought, was Ray Cash. So it was like a 10-year drought from a major label signing, and I never wanted that to happen again because the morality of the city would be low, and so, you know, I want my name on the street like Gerald Levert. So that's like one of the like guys that I kind of push myself as far as somebody that changed the culture of music in the city.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So my curiosity here is, you know, you said you knew when you were 13, right, that you wanted to be in the music industry. So at 13, paint that picture. Who did you see or what did you hear, and of how you knew you wanted to be in the music industry? And then from that moment, did you know you had to go to school? Did you know you needed to intern with Bone Thugs? And then also, I know I just threw a lot at you, but this is just how my brain works too. You said it was a full circle moment, you being an intern for Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I'll just recap that. Like, right at 13, how did you know? What did you see? Right? And then what schooling, what education did you have to equip yourself with to get to that internship or that next level?
When I was 13, I was just so, like, hip hop rap just kind of it consumed me for, you know, so I was like, I have to be a part of this. And then I think one of the shifters was when I went to New York and I went to the Apollo and just kind of seen something that I seen on TV weekend.
So you just drove up to the Apollo, like, or did you go with your parents? Did you go with an older cousin? Like, how did you get to the Apollo?
Me and my friends just, you know, we drove up to New York. Didn't know this is like pre-phone maps and stuff like that.
Right.
And we found our way to it and found our way home. So I couldn't be mad at it, you know.
That's pretty dope.
And then full circle moment with Bone is that, you know, I've been a big advocate for them to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I was just there, by the way, and amazing. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Then I did something crazy. I got a call from my homeboy Juan and Felicia, and I helped usher the street naming for them. So that was just a big moment for me to honor the guys that I kind of look up to that helped me get into the music industry.
That's awesome.
And then, you know, I want to say we got some platinum and gold plaques together with them.
You know, light flex. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Light flex.
So it's just, you know, like, I believe in them, they believe in me, and they've helped, you know, and even when I wasn't in a room or at a radio station across the country, they would always just shout me out and stuff like that, just to encourage me to keep going, and they see me. So
you really are, you know, a Cleveland connector. right, of creatives and artists and things like that, right? So this is kind of off a little bit. So did you want to be an artist, or how?
Everybody has them dreams. I'm not gonna like shy away from it, but just when I got into the bag of like just doing artist and development and A&R and stuff like that, it was that type of energy helps me create in the studio. So if I'm in a room with, like, I would always just recruit like like I feel like A&R is knowing how to put together the right music, put the right energy in the room.
With the right,
So I would call all the good dope producers and songwriters and stuff like that, and we just start working on albums.
A lot of the work, it sounds like being a connector, being able to put the right people in a room, and that's when really the magic happens. You know what I'm saying? So, what would you say? Maybe to somebody who aspires to be in a position that you are today, right? And or entering the music industry or in the music industry, how do you, find your lane?
I found it was pretty much, I feel like after Shady, like work doing that, and then like I was really big on just finding the next wave. So I would literally go to every city, seeing what's hot. Like I was a big advocate on the Detroit music scene before it started blowing up. Especially like back in the days would be Mike Jones, Paul Wall. Like I met these guys when they were like on the come up. So I was the one in New York saying like, hey, I got these guys and they all became platinum artists. So,
What would be somebody that like you looked at, maybe that surprised you, like that they you saw early in their career, but then they either took a leap, or somebody that you thought was going to be like the next big thing, and it didn't pan out? I'm sure you've seen both of those realities in your career.
Yeah. I'm going to not say the
I feel that. Throw a shade on somebody.
A good one is, I mean, I got to stay hometown, so I got to say like Machine Gun Kelly, Ray Cash, Ray Jr., like just knowing them when they were doing like underground shows and, like letting the labels know like, hey, there's a solid movement in Cleveland. And these guys are the next ones to come out.
Well, that's helpful for me, as a, young artist as well. Like, what makes them successful? Like, what is the thing that you see that caused them to have that level of success? Like, you probably watched them and was like, man, they put in this level of work. What is those
I can
attributes?
say like number one hardest working artist that I've seen coming out of Cleveland was Machine Gun Kelly. Number two would be Ray Jr. So relentless as far as going in and creating the music, but making sure everybody knew about it, making sure everybody supported it. Even if you weren't their biggest fans, they made sure you became their biggest fans. So, I look at everybody and like especially them two, and just saying like, I'm proud of them for sure.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed about you, man, you love to give your flowers, man, to people and show respect and honor. But you deserve that too, man. So we want to, on this show, give you your flowers as well, man, and honor you in that, because, man, you do a lot for so many people, not only in the Midwest, but, man, in the music industry as a whole. So,
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
All right, we got a game we want to play. We got to. Oh, well,
so
actually,
before we get into the game, before we get into all the fun, we got into the serious things. We learned a little bit more about Big Heff, right?
Okay.
So you guys, we're gonna take a little breather, and we're gonna come right back and have some fun.
I like that.
Just Joseph came up with these questions.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. But no, we're gonna have some fun. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Attention listeners, WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, is now streaming on iHeartRadio. We are the same community radio station with the same mission, now with another way to bring you the content you need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can still find us on WOVU.org and still listen to us anywhere on the free WOVU mobile app. Those are not going away, but you can also find us on iHeart.com and on the free iHeartRadio mobile app. However you choose to listen, keep it locked for the latest content as we continue to provide a platform for you, the best audience in the land, right here on WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
All right, you guys, welcome back to Futureland365. It's your girl, Nikki B here.
It's your boy, Just Joseph.
Hey, Just Joseph.
Yeah, we back with the one and only Big Heff.
Big Heff.
All right.
Yeah, the guy.
He's
the
like,
legend.
okay, that's enough. That's enough. So you guys, we just learned so much about Big Heff. I know I did. So I hope that you guys are educated and inspired by his story and his experience. And I hope that you have some notes. Are you all taking notes? Joseph, should they be taking notes?
They definitely should.
I believe so. Yeah. I don't have my usual pen and paper here. Right. However, I have my phone here now. I have notes here for sure. Absolutely.
It's Futureland, so use the tech. Don't be afraid of the tech.
Don't be afraid of it, right? Yeah. So you all, now we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna learn some facts, but with fun. So Joseph, I think you have a game.
I got a game, Futureland edition.
This will get everybody in trouble.
Facts. This is called This or That, but we're gonna do the music industry edition.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, so I'm gonna give
Can I
two
answer
options.
some of these too?
Yeah, you can.
No.
We'll see.
You're fine.
All right, so we're gonna give him two options, and you got to choose between the two. So the first one is simple: major label or the indie grind.
Major label.
Major label. All
Quick.
right.
That was quick. Okay.
I like that. 90s hip hop or 2000s R&B.
Can I go back to 90s R&B and then 2000s hip hop?
All right.
Okay, why?
We can do that. We can do that.
Like,
see, I want to ask these questions now too. But all right. So,
because 90s R&B was like, it was playing on an elite level.
yeah.
I think it set the grounds for 2000s R&B.
Facts.
And same way, vice versa. 90s hip hop just set up 2000s hip hop. So
Yeah.
you had like the Cash Money wave, you had the Drake wave, you had Jeezy wave, all that. So I like 2000s hip hop.
All right. So the question between them two, 2000s hip hop or the 90s R&B, what you choosing?
Man,
That's tough.
I'm still gonna go 2000s hip hop.
You gonna stay in genre.
Hip-hop.
Yeah.
Okay,
True to him.
Right. You gotta stay on brand. Stay on brand at all times.
Studio session or live performance?
Studio session.
What?
Yeah.
Right,
on that
me
one.
too.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it would be live.
I mean, and literally make a living off live music,
Right.
but I like the creative process,
Okay.
just seeing
I
like
see
that.
Seeing what
And
goes
then,
into it.
you know, like the other part about it, like when you see it live, you be like, oh,
That's
this
fire.
worked. This is good.
That's fire.
I
All
love
right.
that. Okay.
So now this is, putting back on your music hat. When people are hitting you up, do you prefer DMs or emails for discovering talent?
Artist
I don't really pay that much attention to the DMs, so I would
Gotcha.
probably say email.
Email.
Yeah.
All right, more professional.
Yeah.
If y'all want to reach Heff,
Yeah.
you gotta
Know
go
which
the
way to go,
professional route.
right.
Like literally, people email me. I mean,
Yeah.
they DM me, and I'd be like, "Yo, this is my email if you want
Right.
to send,
Facts.
because I need to listen to the music before
So
you
are
start
you
telling me
looking
great."
at your DMs yourself, or do you have an assistant for that?
I look at 30%. 30. I'm gonna give it a good 30.
All right. So here we go. We're gonna get him in trouble with these. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z,
That was
for
quick.
sure.
Biggie, Tupac.
I'm gonna go Pac.
We gonna go Drake or Kendrick.
I'm gonna go Drake.
There was no thought.
I'm gonna go Drake.
There was no thought there. Like you just knew. Absolutely.
This is how you know it's in his blood.
Yeah.
Man. That's what he do.
There's no
That's what he
question
do.
about it.
You know, shout
All
out
right.
shout out, but the only one that Biggie was the hard one.
Yeah, that was the hardest
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I could see that. All right, man, you survived. Hey, everybody give Big Heff a big round of applause for that, man. He handled it professionally, did his thing. I will say, though, I had a question about the first one I asked you, major label or indie grind, especially, for someone like me or as an upcoming artist and trying to navigate these two worlds. Like, why did you say that, the major label versus the indie grind?
Most times, most independents don't have the budget or the relationships.
Facts.
So usually I would say indie, but that's just in the building phase. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like to take the next step, you have to have those relationships of a major label, that stamp of approval and the funding,
Yeah.
and you're going to get more resources. And most indies don't have a big enough team or staff, or they can't afford a big enough team or staff to really make it go the way you need it to go. So I'm going to say major label, 3 albums, and independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nah, it's dope. I hope y'all are taking notes out there, man. He be giving a lot of game. Actually, that's the first time I, met Heff, he was just giving me a bunch of free game. And I'm just like, dude, like, this is such a wealth of knowledge. So I appreciate that. So I'll go back to your heart, like, of giving back. But two, I just wanted to also say thank you for helping me even in my career navigate certain situations.
What was the first single we had? What was the title of it?
The first single we had we did a couple things together.
The first one, though. We had the backyard barbecue.
Yeah.
All your boys is going crazy. What was the name of the
Oh, that
single?
was Through the Storm. That
Through
was
the
my
Storm.
mixtape. Yeah, that was a mixtape we did together. So that was me getting my feet wet in the music game. I said I wanted to do it serious. You heard, my project, and you took me serious. For somebody with so many accolades, that was intimidating at first. I was like, man, but then you heard my project, and you was like, I'm willing to take a shot.
I feel like, the evolution from Trey to Just Joseph.
Yeah.
And then, I feel like me developing a little bit step further is just getting into the Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
I feel like you took that nice evolution step, and shout out to your deal at Tribal Records, man.
Thanks,
Oh
man.
my
Appreciate it.
goodness.
Big Heff
You
done
guys
broke the
just
news.
heard it here. I'm so excited. I want to jump out of my seat right now. I'm so excited
appreciate
for
it.
you, Just Joseph.
Thank you.
And Big Heff for being there for him and being that huge proponent. I know he has other individuals behind him supporting him. But that's amazing. When they were just telling me off camera, right? Off air.
So the news is broke now, man. I officially signed with Tribal Records and got some new music coming out. Better Than Ever drops with Rob Noor, produced by K Diamond. My first, single that I'm dropping with that record label. So I'm excited. It's a new venture.
I'm excited.
Nikki, the first time I ever went over to the house, he presented, I don't know if it was an Escalade or a Porsche or something like that to somebody. And I was like, this guy's giving away cars too? I didn't understand.
I was fresh off the league. That was my league money. I bought my sister a whip. But no, it was good times. But yeah, he was there
Shows
for
your
that.
heart. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be able to
Congratulations,
do
bro.
that more often.
Yeah.
So
This is big.
yeah.
So I'm excited. I can't wait to be invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Better Than Ever cookout coming soon.
The Better Than Ever cookout. So, okay. I'm so
got a game
excited.
too,
So
right?
now I have a game,
All
you
right,
guys,
okay.
coming off this high, off this brand new news,
Yeah.
right? So Big Heff, here's another game,
Okay.
right? So put on your thinking cap,
Mhm.
your industry cap, your
Okay.
producer cap,
Okay.
all the things, right? So this is called Industry 111 game.
Okay.
Right?
Break it down. How we play
So
this?
there's 3 questions
Okay.
or 3 comments. I'm not going to tell you which,
All
right?
right.
It's one. You have to answer these, okay? You ready?
Mhm.
So let me ask you. I'm going to go in the opposite way, but you don't know
Okay.
that. But anyway, one thing you wish you would change about the music industry.
One thing I wish I could change about the music
Mm-hmm.
industry would be the revenue sharing between label artists or publishing company artists.
Yeah.
Just so to make it a little bit more balanced that, a lot of the, I want to say like the mid-level or lower level artists are able to, sustain their life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
big.
That's good. Again, and it shares your character and your heart, right? Because that's, to me, if I was to sum up who you are, I would say, like we talked about earlier, a connector, right? And someone who wants to share wealth, not only monetarily, but also with your brand, with your business, with your legacy, all those things. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And then, okay, you ready for the next one?
All right.
Okay, I'm ready too. Okay. One producer here in Cleveland that everyone should be watching.
Oh, producer.
Producer. Can they be from Cleveland?
Yeah, they have to be from Cleveland. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say Philly Ferrari beats. Bigger producer, I would probably say is Duke.
Okay.
Big Duke. Yeah.
All right.
And but Philly Ferrari, he's a staple in Cleveland. He produced a lot of hits for Ryan Wolf, a lot of hits for Ty Bree, Ray Jr., all that good stuff.
That's dope.
And he's just a good guy. He's a good guy.
Shout out for Ferrari. We got to get him on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Come on the Futureland podcast. Okay, now here's the one right here. This
All right.
this is it. This is the one, right?
Okay.
Last one and the one. One underrated artist. Just one underrated artist that people should be looking out for, listening to. And yes, they have to be from Cleveland.
I'm gonna say YSN Flow. I think he's a young superstar. He's had success and he's built the fan base, but I want to see him get to the next level for sure.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
I love
dope.
that.
yeah.
What about him that makes him great in your eyes, or that you can see that he has that potential?
I've been seeing him since he was like 15 years old, and he's kept the same energy and work ethic throughout his career, from being signed to a major to doing it independent, and he listens. So that's a big thing. You know, it's like if people can have success and they still listen to get better, then those are the kind of guys I want to be around.
Being coachable.
Yeah.
I think that's so important to leveling up is being coachable, right?
Yeah.
I think you did mention this earlier in your younger years, how you were saying like, what can you teach me, right? You were like, my ego was like, dog, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But at some point you realize like, no, actually this young man or this person knows a lot more than me.
Facts.
So I need to tone it down, have several seats and take some notes.
In the Gen Z
Take
way.
some notes. Right? So because I don't think if it had not been for that moment, for you having that that self introspection moment, right? That you would not have been able to be here, sitting here with us and telling us about, or us sharing with you, like you don't already know, all of your accolades and all of the artists that you have put together and showed things with and shared things with, like Just Joseph was talking about, like, dang, I'm intimidated because this person is just showering me with so much wisdom and knowledge about the business and telling me, dang, you see something in me? Like, I know I have this gift, but what do you mean? So that just really goes to show ego has no room in growth, right?
Yeah. I just learned a lot from my mentors. I think people should have like really good mentors, because people that have success, or if you're in the right rooms, they don't mind sharing the information for you to go get it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, they're not gatekeeping and holding it all in. They're gonna pour, right? They're gonna pour, because I think also what happens is that if you're a mentor or a coach, you see that thing in that person. That was you, the younger you.
Definitely.
So you want to make sure that they have those tools and the right resources to be able to be successful, because they probably have experienced the opposite, right? So I think that's dope, and kudos to you for being that guy.
For sure. And along those lines with, being coachable and having a mentor, what is some advice that you got early in your career that still sticks with you to this day?
If you say you can do it, make sure it comes to life. You know, so a lot of people, they overpromise, underdeliver. I used to like underpromise and overdeliver. So,
Yeah.
That's good. And that might go over a lot of people's heads, man, because a lot of people just got to talking and say, I could do X, Y, and Z. And then when they don't deliver it, that messes up your reputation, your character. People will start looking at you funny. But from my experiences, even working with you, it's like, man, you're a man of your word. So
try to stand on it,
Stand on
I
business.
want to say like Futureland365, it's a mean shoe game up here, buddy.
Hey, we try to do what we can. We all come together.
Up with Just Joseph,
We come together and we do something special. But nah, man, we really appreciate having you on here. And you also have been an advocate for Futureland. You came and spoke on one of the panels.
Yeah.
And so just talk about your impression of like Futureland as a whole and where you see it can be for this city.
I think it's great because I feel like Cleveland is making a transition from being an industrial city to a tech city and being a tech hub. So, like I said, with the jump starts and all the, the companies that's starting to get involved with our ecosystem, our community, then it's great. But, it was nothing but a wealth of knowledge. It was a lot of key people and, Futureland 2025, I'll be there.
Let's go. What is something you want to leave the listeners with? Or you know what? Even better than that.
Let's pivot. Okay.
What is your vision for a better Cleveland and Northeast Ohio? What do we need like moving forward? What is something that you could say like, man, this is what I would love to see moving forward?
I would love to see more festivals here. I would like to I just believe in like for me in the music community is, having some of the tech companies be a part of the entertainment scene and what we have going on. I've seen in other cities like some tech companies have developed artists and a lifestyle brand around the artists of the music community. So I want to make sure that happens. And I feel like Cleveland could become the next Silicon Valley. So let's get it.
Let's do it. And that's what Futureland is all
Let's
about.
get
So we're going to get behind you in that.
Thank
We're
you.
going to have you help us bring some festivals here. We're going to make some things
Let's
pop.
do it.
Coordinate and put some things together.
Let's
Cleveland
get it.
Connector, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
So, Big Heff, what is something that you're working on now that you're passionate about and looking forward to bring to life?
Me and my entertainment lawyer, Debbie Eagle, we just wrote another book, like an entertainment how-to guide about how to survive in the music industry in this current state. I have another movie that I'm producing called Surf Club.
Let's go, movie.
Yeah,
Movies, books.
yeah, and it's really it's about four inner city kids, different backgrounds. They moved to the suburbs in that culture clash. So shout out to Kyle Hammonds, he directed it.
Nice.
And my boy Finch, he wrote it. So it's just that culture clash about moving to the suburbs and all the fun things that happen within that,
I'm looking forward to checking
Right.
that out. It
I
sounds
can relate to that
intriguing
story,
and
too.
interesting. Yeah, for sure.
That's fire.
I got more stuff, but that's those two good
Oh
ones.
my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay, that's okay.
enough.
Well, that's enough. Yeah, that's
We're going to bring
enough.
them back for part 2, man. We got to say some stuff
Right.
for the people.
And you also have a show. Your radio show has been brought back
yeah.
to life.
Yeah, so I have the Big Heff Radio show is syndicated in 13 markets, but shout out to WOVU. I just, had a meeting with them. So I'm glad to have it back on the station,
It's
shout out to-
only right.
We love that. And last but not least, how can people follow you, DM you?
Social media is Big Heff Midwest Fresh on TikTok and Instagram. You go to capitalstructureent.com. All that good stuff. I'm around.
That's what's
If
up.
not hit Futureland365, they became my new managers.
You guys heard that here,
Y'all
right?
heard it
You
here
heard
first,
it here.
man. Well, we just had the man, the myth, the legend.
No, I appreciate
The
guys.
one and only Big Heff. We appreciate you,
Heff.
man. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Say
it.
air high five. All right, you all. Well, that's it. That's all. Futureland 365, where we highlight Cleveland's creators, innovators, entrepreneurs, right here on the podcast. Futureland 365. It's Nikki B here.
And just Joseph.
All right, you all. Oh, and don't forget. How can I forget? Just Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got to like, share, and subscribe
Please, show some
on
love.
YouTube, right?
Yeah.
All streaming platforms, and as well as our
Website.
website. Futureland. Yeah.
www.futurelandcle.com.
You don't want
Make
to
sure y'all
miss
tap in.
any of the events that's coming up, like Big Heff was just talking about. I don't know. We may have an entertainment and tech.
Yeah, we
situation
gonna put something
happening.
together.
I don't know. We may see. Or me and just Joseph just might be in the movie. Don't want to
it
miss it. All right, you all. That's it. That's all.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Reeling it in such a lavish wind, knocking down the doubt like some bowling pins. Trav Henny the Great, keep a full plate, drop the raise price up. A high stake, never lacking on ideas. Don't play, see you at the top or not. All I can say, ride out like 4-wheelers. Dirt is familiar, got it out the mud, the hood hiller. Take it back to the future, focus sharper than knives. I finally got a piece of the pies. Yeah, we moving on up. Moving on up. Yeah, moving on up. Futureland, what's up? Yeah.